We don't want people who need this assistance to go without it, which is why the reimagined and the relaunch of the rental assistance program actually puts the responsibility and onus on the landlord.
On Tuesday, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks announced $6 million in funding, still available through the Prince George's County Emergency Rental Assistance Program that was launched back in May.
We know we have a very large number of individuals who need the rental assistance. The challenge we had is that we were actually not seeing the numbers we expected in terms of applicants because many were filing incomplete applications, missing information.
The deadline for submitting applications for this program is Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. But funds are being dispersed on a first-come, first-served basis. So Alsobrooks is encouraging landlords to apply immediately.
Landlords must show that the tenants have a valid lease agreement. The tenant's annual income does not exceed 80% of the area median income as determined by HUD. And the household has a COVID-19 triggering event.
COVID-19 triggering events include being laid off, place of employment being closed, experiencing a reduction in work hours, staying home to care for children due to a closure of daycare or school, losing child or spousal support, being unable to find employment due to COVID-19, and being unwilling or unable to participate in your employment due to existing underlying health conditions. According to the new iteration of this program, owners, landlords, and property managers may apply for each tenant's past due rental payments beginning on or after April 1st, 2020.
Disbursements will be based on the actual rent and are capped at $1,800 per month for up to 6 months.